the Ars Notoria. This is a mystical and magical text that forms part of the broader Lesser Key of Solomon. Unlike other grimoires focused on summoning spirits or performing complex rituals, the Ars Notoria is unique in its focus on achieving divine knowledge, wisdom, and eloquence through prayers, meditation, and the use of sacred words. The book is primarily concerned with the pursuit of divine knowledge, intellectual enlightenment, and spiritual growth. The text promises to bestow upon the practitioner extraordinary memory, eloquence, and understanding of sacred and secular subjects, including theology, philosophy, and the liberal arts. The book is structured around a series of prayers, invocations, and orations that are to be recited at specific times and under specific conditions. These are often accompanied by mystical images, which are visual symbols believed to hold spiritual power. These practices are intended to bring the practitioner into closer communion with divine forces and to open their mind to higher knowledge. A key feature of the Ars Notoria is the use of these notae, or visual symbols. These are often abstract designs that the practitioner is meant to meditate upon while reciting the corresponding prayers. The notae are believed to help unlock the mind's potential and channel divine inspiration. The book has its roots in the medieval Christian tradition, blending elements of mysticism, Neoplatonism, and early Christian magic. It is one of the oldest parts of the Lesser Key of Solomon, with manuscripts dating back to at least the 13th century. It has influenced various esoteric traditions and has been studied by scholars of magic, mysticism, and medieval theology. The Voynich Manuscript. This is a mysterious and undeciphered manuscript written in an unknown script and language. It is named after Wilfrid Voynich, a Polish book dealer who acquired it in 1912. The manuscript is filled with illustrations of strange plants, astronomical diagrams, naked female figures, and other bizarre imagery, alongside the indecipherable text. The manuscript is generally divided into several sections based on the illustrations. It has the herbal section that features drawings of plants, many of which do not correspond to known species, accompanied by text that appears to describe them, the astronomical section, which contains circular diagrams, possibly representing the zodiac, along with depictions of stars and celestial phenomena. The biological section that includes images of tiny, naked women interacting with interconnected tubes and pools of liquid, possibly symbolizing some biological or alchemical process. The Voynich manuscript has puzzled scholars, cryptographers, and linguists for centuries. Numerous theories have been proposed about its origins and meaning. Some believe it might be written in an invented language, possibly with a purpose related to magic or alchemy. And there's also a theory that the manuscript is an elaborate hoax, created to deceive or entertain. Radiocarbon dating of the manuscript's vellum suggests it was created in the early 15th century, between 1404 and 1443. The origins remain unknown, but it has passed through various hands over the centuries, including those of alchemists and scholars. The Voynich manuscript is currently housed in the Beinecke Rare Book Manuscript Library at Yale University, where it continues to be a subject of study and fascination. The Codex Gigas. This is also known as the Devil's Bible. It is one of the largest and most mysterious medieval manuscripts in existence. Created in the early 13th century, it is famous for its size, detailed illustrations, and the legendary stories surrounding its creation. The Codex Gigas, measuring approximately 36 inches tall, 20 inches wide, and nearly 9 inches thick, weighs around 165 pounds and is made from vellum, with its pages crafted from the skins of over 160 animals. The manuscript contains 310 leaves. Although some pages have been lost over time, it contains a wide variety of texts, combining religious, historical, and medical knowledge. It contains the entire Vulgate Bible, except for the books of Acts and Revelation, which are placed differently from the typical order. An encyclopedia of knowledge from the early Middle Ages, a history of the Bohemian people. The manuscript also includes medical texts, magical formulas, a calendar, and other works, some of which are unique to this manuscript. The Codex Gigas is perhaps most famous for a full-page illustration of the devil, located opposite a depiction of the heavenly city. This unusual and striking image has contributed to the manuscript's nickname, the Devil's Bible. According to legend, the Codex Gigas was created by a monk who broke his monastic vows and was sentenced to be walled up alive. In a desperate bid to avoid this fate, the monk promised to create a book containing all human knowledge in a single night. Realizing he could not complete such a monumental task, he made a pact with the devil, who helped him finish the manuscript in exchange for his soul. The large illustration of the devil is said to be the monk's homage to his dark helper. The Codex Gigas was likely created in the Benedictine monastery of Bohemia around 1229. It is now housed in the National Library of Sweden in Stockholm. The Book of John Mandeville. This is a medieval travel narrative, purportedly written by an English knight named Sir John Mandeville. The book, first circulated around the mid-14th century, presents a fascinating and imaginative account of the author's supposed travels through Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. The true identity of John Mandeville is uncertain, and modern scholars generally believe that the author likely never traveled to the places described. The book describes Mandeville's supposed journeys through distant lands, including the Holy Land, detailed descriptions of Jerusalem and other biblical sites, mixed with accounts of local customs and religious practices, descriptions of China, India, and other parts of Asia, with fantastical tales of strange creatures, exotic peoples, and mythical lands. The narrative is also filled with stories of wonders such as giant ants that mine gold, people with heads in their chests, and other bizarre phenomena. Despite its dubious authenticity, the book shaped European perceptions of the wider world during the Middle Ages. It contributed to the era's growing curiosity about foreign lands and was even referenced by explorers like Christopher Columbus. The Malleus Maleficarum, often translated as the Hammer of Witches, is one of the most infamous and influential books in the history of witchcraft. Written in 1486 by Heinrich Kramer, a German Catholic clergyman, with possible contributions from Jacob Sprenger, the book served as a comprehensive guide for identifying, prosecuting, and punishing witches. The Malleus Maleficarum was written during a period of heightened fear of witchcraft in Europe. Its primary purpose was to provide a theological and legal framework for the persecution of witches, which the authors argued were a significant threat to Christian society. The book played a key role in shaping the witch hunts that spread across Europe from the late 15th century into the 17th century. The Malleus Maleficarum is divided into three main parts. The part 1 discusses the reality of witchcraft and the existence of witches. It argues that witchcraft is real and that it is a heretical crime, supported by biblical and theological arguments. Part 2, which describes the methods by which witches are believed to operate. This includes detailed descriptions of how witches supposedly make pacts with the devil, cast spells, cause harm, and manipulate natural elements. And the Part 3, which provides a legal guide for prosecuting witches. It outlines procedures for interrogating and torturing suspected witches, collecting evidence, and conducting trials. The book emphasizes the use of torture to extract confessions and advocates for the harshest punishments, including execution. The Malleus Maleficarum became the most authoritative manual on witch hunting during the early modern period. It was widely used by both ecclesiastical and secular authorities to justify and conduct witch trials. The book fueled the widespread fear of witchcraft and contributed to the persecution and execution of tens of thousands of people, mostly women, across Europe. The Heptameron. This is a manual for ceremonial magic, structured around the 7 days of the week. It describes how to summon and control spirits and angels associated with each day, using specific rituals, tools, prayers, and incantations. Each day of the week is associated with a different set of angels and planetary influences. The book provides details on how to summon these beings for different purposes, whether for protection, knowledge, or power. The Heptameron contains precise instructions for performing these rituals, including the creation of magical circles, the use of specific robes, tools like wands and swords, and prayers or conjurations to summon and command the spirits. The book is considered a part of the tradition of medieval and Renaissance grimoires, and has influenced other magical texts. It is related to other works of ceremonial magic, such as the Key of Solomon, and shares the same focus on invoking celestial beings to accomplish specific tasks. The Corpus Hermeticum. This is a collection of texts central to Hermeticism, a religious, philosophical, and esoteric tradition that emerged during the early centuries of the Common Era. These writings are attributed to Hermes Trismegistus. The Corpus Hermeticum consists of 17 treatises, although some versions may include more. These texts are written in the form of dialogues or discourses and cover a wide range of topics, primarily focused on the nature of the divine, the cosmos, the human soul, and the process of spiritual transformation. Central themes include the nature of God. The texts present a monotheistic view of God as the all-encompassing source of the universe, sometimes referred to as the All or the One. The Corpus Hermeticum also explores the creation of the universe, describing it as a divine, ordered, and harmonious structure. It emphasizes the divine origin of the human soul and its ability to reunite with the divine through knowledge, gnosis, and spiritual practices. The Corpus Hermeticum draws from a variety of philosophical traditions, including Platonism, Stoicism, and early Christian thought, but it is most closely aligned with Gnostic and esoteric ideas. It promotes the belief that spiritual knowledge can lead to divine enlightenment and transcendence of the material world. They were largely forgotten in the West until the Renaissance, when they were rediscovered and translated into Latin. This rediscovery played a significant role in the revival of esoteric and philosophical traditions in Europe, influencing thinkers like Marsilio Ficino, Giordano Bruno, and others involved in the Renaissance occult revival. The Corpus Hermeticum forms the core of Hermeticism, which emphasizes the idea that all things are interconnected, and that the knowledge of the divine, the universe, and oneself can lead to spiritual transformation. the Codex Seraphinianus. This is a surreal and imaginative illustrated book created by Italian artist Luigi Serafini, first published in 1981. It is known for its bizarre, dreamlike illustrations and an undecipherable script, making it one of the most enigmatic works of modern art. The book is structured like an encyclopedia, detailing a fictional world filled with strange creatures, plants, machines, and surreal landscapes. The illustrations range from fantastical biology to otherworldly architecture, all presented in a detailed and imaginative style. The text is written in an invented script that has not been deciphered, leading many to believe it might be without specific meaning. This adds to the mysterious allure of the book, leaving readers to focus more on the visual experience. The Codex Seraphinianus explores themes of fantasy, surrealism, and the limits of communication. It creates a sense of wonder and mystery, evoking the feeling of trying to understand something entirely alien. Over the years, the book has gained a cult following for its imaginative artwork and mysterious nature. It is often compared to other puzzling works like the Voynich Manuscript and remains a favorite among artists, designers, and those interested in surrealism.